So it's been a busy week with regards to Dragon Age news. Dragon Age the Veilguard has had its full reveal event in June. It obviously included the CGI reveal trailer and the full gameplay demo from one of the earlier levels. So I just want to give my honest opinion on both the CGI trailer, the overall gameplay. Big fan of Bioware games, so I've been a big Dragon Age fan since the release of the original Origins in 2009. Yes, I say I'm an older gamer, though that depends on if you consider someone in their 30s to be old. Let me know in the comments also if you start with Dragon Age back in 2009. So I've got hundreds of playthroughs of the series, so personally I think Bioware needs to convince people like myself that the new Dragon Age is welcoming for new and older fans. So how did the reveals make me feel? So let's start with a name change. Dragon Age the Veilguard. So Dragon Age Dreadwolf is no more. So in my opinion, it's a slight downgrade in terms of name. Dreadwolf did sound a bit more intriguing. It was a more gripping title, so it rolled off the tongue a bit better. Perhaps it will take time for everyone to get used to the new title, considering we've had several years to get used to the previous title. Maybe if Bioware and EA drop the to make it just Veilguard, that might make it a little bit better. It just sounds a bit off at the moment. Bioware have said the change was for a story-related reason and to draw more attention to the companions rather than to Dreadwolf Solus. So perhaps this is more going to be a wait and see for now. So next up, let's discuss the reveal trailer at their Microsoft Showcase event. This is about a 2 minutes long trailer showcasing the CGI footage of the world, but more importantly the companions that we will meet in the game. The overall reaction to the trailer has been quite negative. I'd probably say that the reaction has come from people who have played Dragon Age games before, but also people who have not played Dragon Age games previously. The overall feeling towards the trailer has been that the trailer is terrible. I've rewatched the trailer as part of making this video. I would say that Dragon Age does have history of having odd trailers. I remember for Dragon Age Origins, they had several trailers with heavy metal music, for a trailer which didn't really fit with the game. Now this trailer for the Veilguard was more of a lighter tone, which showed the companions. It does feel like the game is marketed towards newer fans and drawing them into the series. It was a bit odd with the title cards, and a lot of impressions were stating that it was similar to a Borderlands style trailer rather than Dragon Age. Now after several days I think heads have cooled down a bit. I would agree with some of the negativity. It probably was a bit too goofy. Possible this trailer probably should have been the pre-trailer to the longer gameplay trailer that we were going to discuss. We did get plenty of information from people who have played the game and have stated the tone is similar to previous games, which is a good thing, which leaves us asking who approved the trailer in the first place. In fact, Bioware had to go into full damage control and release more information that was more relevant to the game. I think that did help stem the flood of negativity at the time. While it would have been nice to have a good CGI trailer, gameplay is king. While the initial reveal trailer did some damage and probably lost some of the potential hype, what did I think about the gameplay reveal? Well, overall, I actually quite liked it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not jumping out of my seat to rush out and pre-order it. I really did like the gameplay overall, and I thought the graphics and art style looked great. The details and the character models, the sort of textures, lighting, and the density of Minrathous. That's the name of the city, by the way. They were overall, it looked fantastic, and the gameplay itself, it wasn't exactly on rails. You had all these different demons and monsters jumping out places, and it is a classic early mission where things are going on that you're not really involved in, and the game is going to be less open world and more linear. So suppose something similar to like a Mass Effect 2, 3, that sort of thing, or even you could say some of the older Dragon Age games where it's more level based rather than open world like Inquisition was. But I guess we'll have to wait and see to see how linear or how open world it is. I think Bioware have said that it's less open world, which I think is a good thing. I think Bioware are a bit better when it's more level based rather than pure open world like Inquisition. I mean, one thing you obviously could notice quite clearly, the gameplay looked quite different to Dragon Age Inquisition. It feels a bit like Dragon Age 2 with a blend of Mass Effect. I mean, it certainly looked quite similar to Mass Effect. I mean, there has been leaks going into this and saying that it's quite similar to like a God of War style game, still with a serious story and in-depth characters, and yeah, I'm pretty happy to that. It's difficult to say, whether this is better than gameplay than the likes of Dragon Age Origins. I think Dragon Age Origins at the time certainly had its place. I don't particularly mind the gameplay changes. I play a variety of games. I want a good story to keep me engaged, and I don't mind. Like I said, don't mind changes to gameplay. Some Dragon Age fans will not be happy with the dumbed down RPG elements. There are a lot of fans who've gone through the series, like myself, from Origins to Inquisition, and I've worked with the changes. It's always a controversial move to change the style of gameplay, but the fact that it's not the first time this has happened to the Dragon Age series, and we know there'll be more systems shown later on. There has been plenty of Game Informer articles which have shown more complex systems, so perhaps the RPG elements are more in the background. There are Dragon Age fans like myself who have spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours in the series, and if you have different opinions to myself, that's perfectly fine. Now, I've looked at the gameplay systems and the look of the actual gameplay itself, and if you look at things like the character ability wheel, like I said previously, it does look very similar to the Mass Effect series. Bioware are well known for having branching dialogue options that greatly improve the game in some cases. Obviously, they do return here, and if you look at the gameplay demo for me, this looks similar to Mass Effect, but I think with the different icons involved on the dialogue wheel, it is quite similar to Dragon Age 2. So again, Veilguard is bringing back different elements from prior Dragon Age series. Obviously, some fans aren't going to be happy with this style, but we'll just wait to see how it's implemented. There's not much we could do at this moment. A lot of this is a wait and see. There'll probably be more gameplay trailers, as this segment did feel very scripted. I did quite enjoy what I saw. There are some aspects I'm not sure about. For example, the support characters. It's not quite clear if they do that much, like with Varric, when you would shoot an enemy, it appeared to do very little. I do understand from the additional information we can make adjustments to the HUD and can adjust damage indicators, so perhaps we can get that when we get our hands on the games. We can see how effective companions are in gameplay. I do hope we get plenty of interesting dialogue from bringing them to different locations, which is always a treat in these types of games. We do see Solus interacting with Varric, so I wonder if the scene we get is any different depending on the choices from Inquisition. I know that Bioware have stated that with Veilguard, that there is a dedicated system for bringing through choices, which means we won't be using the Dragon Age Keep, which that is quite a shame, as it was quite nice to load our choices, and there's some excellent art and voiceover from Varric. So that's my overall thoughts on the name change, reveal trailer, and the gameplay trailer. Of course, I still prefer the original name, but I'm sure we'll get used to it in time. Just please Bioware drop the from the title. It's been a difficult road with the Dragon Age series, with Inquisition over 10 years old, and Bioware struggling with poor releases since. Now, we've had numerous small reveals at various game shows, which has kept us going. I do think a word has to be said for the developers who've been let go recently and were poorly treated by EA and Bioware. They let a lot of people go and have been involved in legal matters relating to compensation. I hope these developers were credited in the game, as they did spend a lot of time working with it. The game has been rebooted several times, which has caused costs to rise. I think it's fair to lay blame for that partially on EA and Bioware. EA was probably chasing the money tree from the live service games, and look what that did to games like Anthem, and then to Mass Effect Andromeda, and Bioware letting its essentially C team take on Mass Effect, which caused the series to go into hibernation. Personally, I have my fingers crossed that this game comes out great and fans new and old will be happy. It'll be a sad day to see this series I loved limp over flop, though I do think we'll be okay. There has been a lot of information coming out, and I think we do have a treat to look forward to. But of course, if it does do well, fingers crossed, a more positive future for the next Mass Effect, as we do know that Bioware does share its staff between the game series. The game will affect the future of Bioware. I don't think a failure would mean the end of the developer, but it could be more likely considering EA's track record with these sort of things. But thank you for watching this video. If you're new around here, please subscribe. Also, I'm looking to cover new news relating to the next Mass Effect and Dragon Age, so as well as other exciting games that come out in the near future. So if you're interested, please stick around and subscribe. And of course, let me know in the comments what you think about the name change, the trailers that have been revealed, and any other thoughts. Thank you very much.